Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? Whew. Yeah, there's actually a lot that's going on. Hello, Hutanik. Hello, Paula. Thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. Paula. Hutanik. Ahem. Tonight's question. Who just launched a brand new stock trading platform? Coinbase, BlackRock, Kraken, other. I'm sorry. A new stock trading platform. If you think it's other, put it in the comments. And my dog goes nuts because my son's leaving. Apparently, he's not allowed to leave the house. So, we had that major breakdown of mantra today. Sad, but very true. Zach XBT has been all over it. He's identified Reef Finance founder Denko Manchesky and user Fukugo Ryoshu as potentially tied to Mantra's 90% token crash, though Vortex and investors Laser Digital and Sharuk deny direct involvement. Yeah, that's not pretty. That's not pretty at all. That's a problem. So I'm still just watching it unfold, just like everybody else. I'm just watching it unfold, and we'll see what happens. We're gonna have to see what happens. It's a little sloppy, more than a little sloppy. I said it this morning. Stupid, right? You want to take profit on a project that you've been busting your hump for? Fine, I have no issue with that. But if you actually care about having that project have longevity, continue, be transparent. Be transparent. Richie, dead straight up serious, man. Yeah. From what I read, Mantra went down similar to Meld using two blockchains. I'm still waiting to see more details. Not going to try to guess at what's happening, what's happened with it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But immediately the finger pointing is kind of like, you move the coins. What are you talking about? Start there. You move the coins. You're gonna blame the exchanges for accepting the coins? Yeah, it's not boding well, and that's going to have a loss of confidence quickly. Obviously, 90%. 90%. How'd you drop it so fast? So that's what's bothering me. Rick Ritchie, you invested in yourself. Thank you for letting me know. Hutanik, you know the rules. Have you invested in yourself today? I shouldn't have to ask you every day. Get to the point. It was keeping both blockchains liquid. There was a flaw. No, you think there is a flaw. We do not know for sure until I hear something from everybody. You know what I mean? Like I've read a whole bunch of stuff, but I haven't seen anything that actually looks like fact. I've been reading a lot of stuff that seems like hearsay. I'm waiting to see what's official, what actually comes out, and I'll take it from there. Luckily, I didn't have a huge bag, but you've heard me. I was happy with my bag. Not happy at the moment. And I'm just wondering, can it come back? We'll see. Time will tell. Oh, that's how Meld went down. Yeah, I don't even know what Meld is, man. It's not on my radar. Was never on my radar. So I don't know anything about it. Thank you for that, though. What else do we have? Vitalik Buterin calls for enhanced crypto privacy amid AI growth. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin urged the crypto community to prioritize open source, true, universal privacy tools as AI-driven data collection poses increasing risks to user privacy. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And it's not just AI, it's AI coupled with automation is what makes it easier to, break into your privacy. So that's a problem. Who just launched a brand new stock trading platform? Coinbase, BlackRock, Kraken, or other? And if it's other, put it in the commentos. I listened to Mantra CEO, and he said something about exchanges and that he really didn't know all the facts yet. I'm not listening to him. I'm waiting for the full statement to come out. Because right now, I don't care what anybody says. Right now, it's looking like a great big fat rug pull, right? I mean, so I'm waiting. Now, there could have just been a problem. There could have been a whole bunch of things. I'm trying to hold off saying anything. But we'll see. It's pretty ugly. Strategy acquired 286 million more worth of Bitcoin more. Now holds about $45.2 billion in Bitcoin across of Bitcoin in about, that's what I meant to say, 531,644 coins. Wow. Metaplanet bought another, what was it, $28 million worth of coins. They're now 9th on the list of publicly traded firms or businesses that actually run it. Who they, got to use names because I'm already beyond the topic. So you got to, if you want me to come back to something, you got to tell me what I'm coming back to. The time is now. What are your top 3 cryptos to trade and why? That's not right now. SEC postpones the decision on Grayscale and VanEck crypto ETF filings. They pushed it out till June. The SEC delayed the rulings on Grayscale's Ethereum staking and VanEck's in-kind redemption filings, extending review deadlines to June 1st and 3rd, respectively, 2025. Why? I mean, I can guess why. My guess is they don't understand the ramifications. They don't understand the ramifications and they're trying to figure it out. Everybody seems to be running around talking about, oh, we're going to do this with Bitcoin, we're going to do that with crypto, and blah, 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 blah. There's some politician in Florida talking about Florida's going to lead the way for reserve, Bitcoin reserves. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, do you even know what that means? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking at all these politicians that are, just jumping on a bandwagon and don't really know. And I think some of them even go to the extreme of buying crypto to make it look like they know crypto. Because you had your nephew buy you some stuff, that doesn't mean you know about the stuff and the ramifications behind it. So I have an issue with latecomers. Because I can almost guarantee that if you walk up to all these politicians, the bulk of the politicians that are out there that are talking about Bitcoin this and crypto that and blah, 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 and, reserve and yada, yada, yada. Then I heard some idiot talking about, oh, we should sell gold to create the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And I was like, you're dumb as dirt. You are dumb as dirt. There's no way in the world that I would use gold to fund the Bitcoin, a Bitcoin reserve or a crypto reserve in any way. I think that's dumb. I really do think that's dumb. I think there are many things that they'd be able to do. Stop auctioning things for like $1, right? And use all of those proceeds at, even if you wanted to give a discount, great, give a discount. But, business is business. If you had to confiscate something, you had to confiscate something. Let's make some money off of it. Stop giving it away. Right? and based on that, take that money and put it into Bitcoin if that's what you wanted to do. Because right now, they're really not collecting a lot of money on a lot of different things. Right? Any substantial money, I would say, like that. Anything of substance. And so I would say, putting on lotion. So I would say, yeah, do that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would say, well, it literally is found money. Take the found money and do something with it. Right? Arrest a drug dealer and then, confiscate all of their bank accounts, stuff like that. Oh, okay. Do that. Do that. I'm cool with that. But you want to sell gold? You want to sell gold? You want to sell one thing that's valuable for something else that's valuable? The advice that I hear from everybody that's talking about this, it's a combination of gold and Bitcoin. It's not gold or Bitcoin. It's gold, silver. It's gold, silver, and Bitcoin. That's what they're talking about. That's what I've heard the most of. So I think there are too many people that don't know what they're talking about that are trying to hop on a bandwagon because it's the shiny thing. It's the cute little squirrel that the little dog is running around chasing now. And that's my problem. I have a problem with that. $7.2 billion exit crypto funds amid Trump tariff fallout despite late rebound. Yeah. I'm not even worried about that. I'm more worried about more missteps by our government from economic policies. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about when you have somebody like Ray Dalio talking about recession is, foregone conclusion. I'm worried about something worse than that. I'm worried about something worse than that. That's scary. You know what Ray Dalio is doing right now? He's not just giving away his knowledge and expertise about investing. He is breaking it down to the most simplistic way to explain certain things and giving it away. He is one of the most successful investors in the world ever. One of the most successful. When he says recession, and worried about something worse, I take that really seriously. I stop and I ponder that. That's scary. At least to me. Maybe not to you, but it is to me. They are saying that because we already know China has more gold than we do, they just need to put both on the balance sheet for starters. I don't even know what that means. I'm dumb. I don't know what that means. And who knows if they have more? See where I'm going with it? They may have more, they may have less. I'm not worried about how much gold they have. I'm more worried about how much debt they hold, how much of our debt they hold, and how much they can control. I heard an executive, a government person, and he says, somebody asked him a question. So what do you think about, United States tariffs? He goes, we don't care. He wasn't even saying it to be malicious. He wasn't saying it with attitude. He says, we don't care. We're 5,000 years old. For that period of time, the United States didn't exist. We're only a few hundred years old. It's like, we're 5,000 years old. We're not worried. We don't care. It was the most honest response. Let me rephrase. The most brutally honest response that I've seen. Oh, we don't care. And then the trade that they were getting from the United States. Remember, it's only about it's less than $200 billion, right? They're saying they've already replaced it. There are news reports out there that's saying they've already replaced it. They're not worried about it. They'd like to get it back because it's not sustainable by those other countries, but temporarily they've replaced it. So when you stop and you think about it, it's kind of like, we've got to figure it out. We've got to figure it out. And, I saw a report where the current regime is trying to rescind $1.2 billion in investment into NPR and PBS. Like I said, while everybody's looking over there at tariffs, we should be looking over here at a lot of stuff. Half the educational kid shows that are out there, PBS. We all know what NPR is all about. Rescind $1.2 billion. Wow. So yeah, I'm not just looking at the effects from tariff policies. I'm also looking at other monetary policies that could hurt us. When you think about NPR and PBS, you can't just think of, oh, those are the channels. No, think about their whole ecosystem, their respective ecosystems. Everybody that works in that supply chain to create that content to give to us, to help educate us, give us free forums, that it would affect a ton of people. A ton of people. I'm looking at who's going to be looking for jobs, the skill sets that they have, the number of jobs and types of jobs that we have that are available, and where do all of those people go? They don't just get absorbed into the job market. That's not the way it works. When they talk about 228,000 jobs are available, they're not talking about, oh, well, there are jobs for everybody. No, there are different jobs for different skill sets, and a lot of those jobs are not up here. They're not up here. They're down here. I'm worried that we're going to see more of the bad stuff, not the good stuff. Gold is on the balance sheet at $44 per ounce. Whose balance sheet? You can't talk in phrases. The whole sentence, please. Do you mean our balance sheet? And what impact does that have? What impact does that have when we're talking about jobs? People losing jobs. That's what we're talking about. Well, everybody's looking at tariffs. I'm thinking about the sustainability of the regular person in this country. Their bags are definitely affected. Gold is not the end-all answer, period. No matter what we might think, it is not the end-all answer. Do I like gold? Sure. But the conversation does not revolve around gold. It does not. We've got to start thinking beyond gold. Is it a part? Don't get me wrong. Is it a part? Yes. But it doesn't revolve around gold. Keying in on your point, Hutanic, about UBI, right? And universal basic income for those that, because I didn't say it before. I'm not hearing anything about that. Let's run with the idea that it's $44 per ounce for the gold for our books. What are we using it for? Are we using it to re-educate, retrain our workforce? No, we're actually not. We're trying to pull funding from different things like that. We're trying to gut, the Board of Education or the Department of Education. So even if we have all of those funds, what are we doing with them for the betterment of the nation? I told you guys before, I don't care who's in the office. I don't care who's sitting in the chair. I need the President of the United States to be successful for our whole country and not just the chosen few, as they like to look at themselves. I need the president to be successful for the country. And that combination of things does not lead me to think that we're going to be successful as a country. Not when we've got homeless, when we have hungry, when we don't have good health care. We're always taught to point to other countries that, they pay so much high taxes. They don't have to worry about health care. Their food isn't covered in, all kinds of poisons and stuff like that. I wonder about stuff like that. Like, how do we sustain our society here? If we're going to have, let's say, austerity, cool with that. We have to tighten our belts, fine. But everybody and every entity should be tightening their belts. Goldman Sachs just reported record earnings. At what point is enough enough? Duh. The currency has too much liability, needs more assets. Let's think about this. Aren't we the assets? Thank you, Lex Luthor, for letting me know you invested in yourself. Could be it's about the 200 MA on the. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even bother to read that. That's a private conversation. But yeah, how do we, with so many people unemployed and the outlook for the rest of the year, looking at more job cuts, more automation, more leveraging of AI. I'm not mad because companies are figuring out how to leverage these things to get more productivity, to earn more. But when I see how much money they're saving and not passing that along, Hutanic, that's the saddest thing I've seen all day. What he wrote was, April, May is what we mapped out. Wasn't just you. What we mapped out from last year. I feel like if they keep the markets down through the summer, it may be done for a year. Can they? Sounds crazy, but hear me out. There's a lot of pent-up energy, right, that's out there now, waiting for catalysts to happen. And if you notice, every time we seem to be on an upswing, tariff. Don't believe me? Go look at the charts. Every time it looks like, feels like, we're about to be on an upswing, tariff. They say it, they do something, and then boom, we drop. I don't feel like, I hear what you're saying, Hutanic. I don't feel that Bitcoin is on an extreme up and down. It hasn't moved extremely. A less than 2 or 3% swing there, that doesn't mean anything. That's why I have my 5% rule. If a coin's not moving 5%, it's not going to register to me unless it's back-to-back moves of, like 3%, making it, close to 6%. I'm paying attention to that. How, when I tell you about the rhythm of the coins, what did it do 24 hours, 7 days, blah, 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 blah. I'm paying attention to those kind of moves. But I don't feel like, it's on big swings. I feel that there's big manipulation that's temporary. You know what I mean? Like, I say tariff and then I shut up. or I have one of my people say something and everything starts to tick back up. But you see how hard it drops. We don't come back as fast, but you see how hard it drops. But the turnaround is fast. We don't necessarily come back up as fast, but the turnaround is fast. That says to me that there's manipulation. Because normally it would be a U, right? It's not a U. It's been like bing, bing. It's been a V. It's been a V. So yeah, I have a problem with that. Which is not Bitcoin behavior this many days after the epoch. I don't pay attention to that. I told you I'm not going to pay attention to that. The only reason why is because how we're moving now is not how we've ever moved before. I don't want to look at those numbers. I don't feel like they apply. I think we're moving differently now because of so much manipulation. Now, do I think that they're gearing up for a major upswing? Yes. Do they want to hold it down here for as long as they can? Yes. That's what I honestly believe. Get all our ducks in a row, and then whew, that's what I'm thinking. That's literally what I'm thinking. So do I think that Bitcoin's moving on its own? If Bitcoin was moving on its own, Hutanik, I'd be right there with you. This is weird, blah, 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 blah. But it has not been moving on its own. It has not. When the Ripple case was over, did we get a big change? For the most part, the Ripple case is done. They're dotting I's and crossing T's right now, putting periods at the end of the sentences, making sure the comma shows up in the right place. But for the most part, for the most part, it's done and dusted. Market should have taken off, no? It didn't even register as a blip. It was barely a blip. It was like it's barely a blip. How do you have something that major, something that has been an albatross around the neck of crypto for 4 years, and it barely registers as a blip? That's when you start to sit there and you kind of go, okay, that's manipulation. It's got to be. How much good news have we been hearing out of some of these companies that have been making moves? Barely a blip. Everything's in turmoil right now because we could go a couple of days. He doesn't say anything about tariffs, and then tariff, boom, immediate drop. Immediate drop. So start tracking those wallets that, are buying 1 Bitcoin here, 1 Bitcoin there, 3 Bitcoin there, 3 Bitcoin there. Small little bites by people that can afford it. See if they coagulate someplace. See if they aggregate somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, where's that going? Doesn't take a lot. Doesn't take a lot. But I think we're watching a bunch of entities really load up on the cheapy, and then they're just going to let loose. So if you're not buying now, you might want to kind of think about that. Let me get to these. He's been making manipulation whole time. I've been making a lot of money off the short calls. Yeah. But I told you guys, I've been playing the volatility. XRP has an unlock at the beginning of every month. It always dips. Totally get you on that. That's not moving the markets. Their unlocks have not moved markets. Has not done anything to XRP. Nothing. barely a problem. It's okay. They had an unlock. Who cares? It's sort of like we have options expiring on Fridays. What's going to happen when these $2 billion in options expire? Nothing. Nothing. Somewhere between jack and squat is what's going to happen. For real, for real. But when you have a 200 million, no, the whole case about $325 million for one side. That's how much Ripple at first had to outlay. So the $200 million already spent, they brought that 125 down to 50. So 250 mil gone. They spent it already. Plus the time and expenses for all the government workers doing what they do, whatever. But it held back crypto for a long time. Not just Ripple, but crypto for a long time. If that case had never have come, we wouldn't be talking about $100,000 Bitcoin. That'd have been done already. That to me is a joke. That we'd have been long since past. Because XRP was in so many of the financial institutions that are out there. They were already there. XLM was already making moves. There were so many things that were starting to happen. You could see the foundation happening, growing. And then the lawsuit came. That lawsuit doesn't happen. We're in a totally different place. But even with that lawsuit, what happens 4 years later? What happens? We're at almost unbelievable levels of adoption and integration. Who would have thought this 5 years ago? Uphill battle, pushing the boulder. But then things just kept going and going and going. The pool of the faithful kept growing and growing and growing. And now where are we at? We're at a point where we can literally identify how the market is moving and be able to say, that's a natural move for this market. That's an unnatural move for this market. We've had a string of unnatural moves for the past 3 months. You could say even longer than that, right? You can kind of put a special date on that when you started seeing the unnatural moves up and down, right? Mostly to the downside because look over here. When I think about crypto and the growth potential, I'm thinking, I don't know what that question means. How much XRP per month? Are you talking about when they make the purchase or when they release? I don't have that at my fingertips. Maybe Rick Ritchie does. So yeah, I mean, I don't think about crypto alone. I think about the stock market. I think about crypto. I think about Main Street. It sounds funny, but I think about Main Street. I think about all these businesses that are out there that they have to find ways to survive depending on the business that they're in. I'm expecting that we're going to wind up seeing a lot of small businesses go out and maybe never come back. You're going to start to feel it. People are scratching their heads. Their livelihoods are gone. When you own a business, you don't stop living. So now you've got to go find a job. Or I ran a business for 20 years. Okay, so what? What are your skills? How do they re-enter the job market? All the people that worked at a given store or a given business, where do they go? The impact of everything that's going on right now is tremendous. The only thing that I think is a positive sign is that they're starting to say, well, we're going to revisit certain things and we'll get back to you in a week or so. We're going to pause this for 90 days. And by the way, we're open to having that go longer. Are you now? Now you know why I'm starting to believe that we could be nearing the end of some of this manipulation. Could be nearing the end. And when that happens, well, I think I'm not going to use the word parabolic, but I think we could be seeing some really good numbers on the upside. Hello, 8 Paws. And thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself today. I greatly appreciate it. And what did I miss? Rick Ritchie, BTC makes sense. What about Doge and Pepe? All right, that's a private conversation. Did I miss anything else? I feel that money has moved to BTC for a safer place for now, but when it moves, they will invest back into the degen plays. Don't use the word degen unless you actually mean degenning using memes. That's what that's for. If you're talking about the altcoin plays, then yeah, I agree with that, but not degen. Due to do you mean terrifying disruption? I call this cycle the end of year, potentially drag out latest mid 2026. Nah, I don't think it'll be that long. I think there'll be a pop and then, a gradual drop from there. I think that we have an opportunity to create a new all-time high, and then from there we'll see a drop off. Yeah, but I not thank you for that, Hutanic, because degen to me it has a specific meaning. So that's why I was saying that. Thank you. I think that, like I said, I think this year we could still see a higher high. And I'm going to tell you now, when we hit that higher high, I'll be, you know how I say sprinkle, sprinkle? I'll be sprinkling some of that profit into my pocket. That's what I'll be doing. That is what I'll be doing. Sprinkle into my pocket. Because I think after we hit that all-time high, there'll wind up being a pullback. And it's not because there's not potential in the crypto space. It's because companies are going to, I think we're going to see companies lay off. That's what I think. So that's the issue to me. I think that's more than just a little bit of an idea, right? And remember, we have large corporations out there that have already planned for layoffs. Don't forget, Citi's already said we've set aside, like I think the number was like $600 million. Yeah. And here's the thing for Citi. Citi said we're setting aside $600 million and we're going to, let go of a bunch of people. But those jobs that we have overseas, we're going to be bringing the bulk of them back. So that initial let people go and then hire correctly for the jobs that we're bringing back, it's not going to equal out, right? There'll be less jobs that they're bringing back, but still, that's going to be people. That's going to be feet on the street, pounding pavement, looking for jobs, looking for work. And the environment right now is not easy for small businesses to start. Hutanic, I like that one. Going long is not long, just longer than the dollar. Replace the word dollar with fiat. Everybody, since we're in the United States, everybody thinks dollar. I think fiat. I think there's fiat around the world that's hurting. So I compare it all to fiat. I think as more countries continue to hurt, there's going to have to be a game changer in how they do things. And it's not going to be bricks, right? It's not going to be bricks. Because what are China and Russia doing? They're settling up things with Bitcoin. They're using crypto. Because China's not going to use the ruble and the yuan is not coming out of China. So they're using Bitcoin. Yeah. So when I look at the impact from those kinds of things and I look at the long path down the road, I really think crypto is going to wind up taking over. Because right now, if you look at U.S. policy, you have countries and companies and just people they're losing faith in U.S. assets. And if you're losing faith in U.S. assets, well, that goes to what Hutanek was saying. It's that whole, longer than the dollar. So yeah, that to me is a big deal. You talked about Forex. Pretty cool. I'm not trading by numbers. I'm trading by triggers. I'm trading by triggers. I'm trying to understand the rhythm of certain coins in this volatile, economy that we have right now, and just playing this. That's all I'm playing. And hoping I don't get burned when somebody uses the word tariff again and everything goes boo. When I say it, I'm not joking. I'm being serious. I'm being serious. So, tonight's question. Who just launched a brand new stock trading platform? Coinbase, BlackRock, Kraken, other. I don't recall somebody putting in other what they thought it was going to be. But I can tell you now, it's Kraken. Kraken bought NinjaTrader, and I didn't think that they would turn it around that quickly. I did not think that they would turn it around that quickly. Kraken's not playing games. So Kraken coming out with, 11,000, something like that. Kraken's coming out swinging. Swinging. For a long time, Kraken was quiet. Kraken wasn't all that. I have a Kraken account. I have nothing against Kraken. It's not like their name is Gemini, because I hate Gemini. But Kraken came out swinging. It was jaw-dropping to me to see that Kraken bought NinjaTrader. I just sat there and I was like, oh, damn. It's huge. One of the reasons why it's huge is because NinjaTrader is a mature platform. I don't mean old, I mean mature. It's got an API so that you can write bots that can do automated trading for you. It's an established player in the space. That's why it's big. That's why it's big. And they're about to go IPO. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Kraken's about to explode. Kraken is absolutely about to explode. And you know who they're going up against when they do that? Most of you would probably say Coinbase. And, for certain things, you'd actually be correct. But you want to know who else they're going up against? Who people probably are not going to draw this conclusion toward? Robinhood, Thinkorswim, E-Trade. Because money from both of those platforms, Kraken Direct as well as from NinjaTrader, go to Kraken. Kraken literally just opened up the freaking spigots and just said, let's go. So while we're integrating these two companies, we're going to do this, and boom. Okay, cool. And trust me, they will be integrating. And Felix, thank you. Yeah, Thinkorswim is out there, but I'm pretty sure Thinkorswim is trying to integrate crypto. I'm pretty sure E-Trade is trying to integrate crypto because that's what they said they want to do. Both of those platforms would be huge to be able to do it. But the fact that Kraken got there already, the fact that Kraken got there already, oh, Lieutenant goes in the corner tonight. When did I do that? Did I do that? You sure you're talking to me? I don't remember. I'm getting old. I don't remember certain things. But seriously, Kraken's like, let's go. I mean, stop and think about this. All they have to do to make it even partially convenient is put a little button that says, "Oh, you would like to do this crypto thing? Oh, we can send you to our sister platform. Oh, you want to do this stock thing? Oh, we can send you over to our sister platform." It can be as simple as that at the beginning. As simple as that. But the fact is that money just rolls in. Rolls in, win or lose. They're collecting fees after fees after fees. I told you guys about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, that I had a conversation with a financial executive, and we were talking about the advantage of merging the two, crypto with stock, with stock purchases and things like that. I said that I think some of these platforms, let me rephrase, I think some of these banks that have the platforms are not thinking about what these platforms can actually do. These platforms don't just help people that want to do self-service, right? Because that's what they're built for. You handle your self-service. And then wealth management. Well, wealth management. We don't worry about those little people. What they're forgetting is that more and more and more and more people want the self-service. That is an untapped space that if you have the right platform, it's just going to grow. It's just going to go bananas. And one of the craziest advantages is that NinjaTrader already has an API that people can write to, just like on Thinkorswim, they have an API that people can write to. But now for NinjaTrader, well, we're a part of an organization that can do crypto or stocks. Which one you want? Which one you want? That's a wow moment. That's a wow moment. Having this news come out now says, oh yeah, no, you already know we're going public. We're going IPO. We just want to let you know that the fences that we're swinging for are in the next ballpark. Like for real. Loaded bats and everything. What else is there? Dude, you act like I remember what I say 10 seconds ago. You need to cut that out. Stop acting like you don't know me. Once they learned how much flesh they could extract, they decided not to ban it. I don't know what you're talking about there. I don't know what you're talking about with that one. I must have missed something. Any chart longer than 90 days is distorted. Ooh. Ooh. Any chart older than 90 days is distorted. I don't think I believe in that one. I understand where you're coming from. I don't think I believe in that one. Um, Hutanic, you just got some company. Lex Luthor is with you in the corner. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That was like a gentle reminder to say it. I hadn't said it all night. I was trying to hold out. But it's true. I don't know that I agree that charts older than 90 days are distorted. I still want to know what's going on beyond that narrow window. I understand what you're saying with that 90-day thing, though. I get it. But like I said, going back to what I said earlier, I think there's a lot of pent up energy, and there's only going to be but so much you can hold back. You can hold things back. At some point, there's going to be an explosion, and I think it'll be a surprising explosion. Nothing, let me not say nothing. It's rare that things go up in a straight line. Usually, you know what I mean? There's still volatility even going up. I think that's what we're going to see. I think when things start to really take off, it's going to be hard to play that small dip and then back up and then small dip and then back up and then small dip and then back up. It's going to be hard to play that. It's going to be very hard to play that. So I've got DCA strategy. I'm not touching that. But I also have a profit strategy. And it's a part of my risk framework. Here's what I mean by that. I'm going to see things going up. I'm going to snatch a little bit of profit. Even if it comes back a little bit, maybe I'll get back in thinking that it's going to go back up. Maybe. But I'm definitely going to snatch a little bit of profit. If it comes back down, goes up again, I'm going to snatch a little bit of profit. And the reason why is because I am expecting a drop. Nothing stays up, nothing stays down. And I'm going to want to take advantage of me having those funds on the side. So when it drops, I can swoop in and snatch. Now, something that I'm thinking about is a lot. I have to let you guys know, I'm not always just thinking about crypto. I'm thinking about crypto, stocks, bonds, options, the whole stock market thing, and businesses. I'm starting to pay attention to what do people need that's out there, right? I had a jeweler. He and his wife are now out of business. They retired. Not that they lost anything. They retired. And it's because they have two sons that didn't want to take over the business. That's what we're seeing right now. So I'm looking to see what's of value to snatch up that I could snatch up and let it rock. Right? Could I find some investors and go buy a title company and start, doing titles in RWA? That could be something. That could be interesting. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm not just looking at what am I doing in this facet of my portfolio. Remember, crypto is just a facet of my portfolio, as I do hope that it's only a facet of yours. Because I do believe in diversification. I strongly believe in diversification. So I've got crypto, I've got some stocks, gold. Right? You know what I'm saying? I own businesses, I invest in businesses. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for what can make me money and at what level it can make me money. And I'm also looking at what can make me money, even if it's a little bit, it's less money, but it's steady. I'm also looking for that. Just saying, there's a lot of stuff we could do. BTC needs M2 global money. I don't know what M2 means. Supply to keep rising as it's doing right now. Ideally, quantitative tightening to end some uncertainty on the tariff situation. They could raise the rates next month. Rick Ritchie, I don't know that I like you. I don't know that I like you, sir. Damn. I've been so focused on I think that Powell shouldn't touch anything that I hadn't contemplated the fact that, yeah, they could raise rates. That would send certain people like to the padded room. That would absolutely freak people out if he raised rates. Absolutely would. But you could start to see how, there's a case that could be made. There's a case that could be made to fend off you and your silliness. I'm going to do this. That is a freaking option. And I'm willing to bet that nobody's done that decision tree analysis to see what would the impact be if Powell decided to go do that. Wow, man, I don't know if I like you. Just hurt my head. You just hurt my tiny little keen bean. Gold should also top around that time, and there you go, using that word top. I would not use that word. I would absolutely not use that word. And I'm pretty sure people think I'm tripping. I would not use that word top. I don't know that gold is going to top. The market's taking hits and gold is still going like this. People think gold when there's a problem. They think gold. It's just that now they're thinking gold, a couple other precious metals, Bitcoin. Slight change in their thought process, but I really do think that people are thinking gold, Bitcoin. Oh, dude, gold is bonkers. Bonkers. I mean, what if it hits 3,500? That's like what, a 50% jump from where Hutanic first started talking about Pax G. Just saying. Just saying. The time is now. No, we don't do that here. We're not going to egg on Lex Luthor and his corner dwelling self and his buddy boy over here, Hutanic. Nah, I can't put Rick Ritchie in the corner because that was a really good point to make. Pete's had hell of a markup. Yo, you need help. You're in the corner now too. You're in the corner now too. Wow. I think gold and S&P will be the same almost. Yeah. Don't sleep on S&P. Don't sleep on it. It's another safe haven that people think of. When Ish obliterates the fan, that's what I'm thinking. That's literally what I'm thinking. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. We need more people to join. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and opinions. Thank you for teaching me and teaching the rest of us, sharing our education with each other. That's what this community is all about. It's what this community is all about. And I want you to do one more thing for me. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Okay? Do that for me. Everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Have a great night. Bye-bye.